that same spot that we were kind of working through last week, right? Kind of like right on that inside part of the quad.
Yeah, and on the knees too.
Okay. So I remember last week we just worked through the quad and then you were essentially pain-free after that. Is that the same pain that you're feeling today?
Slightly worse.
Slightly worse, okay. He started treatment 6 to 8 weeks ago. He was progressing really well, and then he went to his orthopedic, and his orthopedic gave him a return to run program. Which was fitting, you know, the distances and the times were all appropriate. But what Michael didn't understand is that he needed to start slow. So Michael started that return to run program running at a pretty high tempo and a fast pace. So what that ended up turning out to be is now Sever's disease. So Sever's disease is simply just like a inflammation of where your Achilles tendon attaches onto the calcaneus, which is your heel bone, and your calcaneus, where it inserts, that's where the bone grows. So that's where we have growth plates. So it's very similar to Osgood Schlatters of the knee and the patellar tendon. Same exact thing, but now it's just heel and Achilles tendon. Let's hop up on the table and then lay all the way back. Nothing on the left side, all right side. Okay, let's take a look and see at what point in the range of motion does it start. So as soon as it starts, I'm gonna go really, really slow. Tell me when, okay? Right there, okay. So let's just take a look and see where it is. Okay, so 128. And then what I wanna see is if we go further, does it get any worse, okay? So we're gonna push a little bit more. Does it get worse as we go? It does, okay. And then it's staying isolated on this inside part here. Okay, as we go further, does it travel anywhere? Does it travel up, does it travel down, or just? In the kneecap, yeah. Yep. And then I don't know if you felt it, but I definitely felt like some creaking and some popping when we were bending it. So it's a little swollen too. Did you notice that? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start just working through this tendon right here, and then we're gonna work our way up towards the quad. So your quads attach to this tendon down here on that kneecap. So when these quads get super tight, it's gonna create some pain and tension in through the kneecap and through this tendon. So if we address all of it, then that should take care of it. Stretching is good because stretching is gonna keep that muscle elongated. But what happens is there's knots that accumulate in your muscle tissue. How I like to think about it is, so our muscle fibers run parallel with one another, right? And what happens is when they get knotted up, kind of creates a knot, like a rope knot. So the fibers of the muscle become knotted up. If we take the high end of the muscle and the low end of the muscle and we stretch, what happens to the knot? It gets tighter, right? So how do we break apart that knot? So we do that really through our soft tissue work. So like when we dig into the quad, and then you could do it yourself by foam rolling. So while you're doing your stretches and your rehab at home, it would be better if you foam roll the quad first to smooth out those muscle fibers, and then you can stretch. Does that make sense? That's probably as simple as we can break it down. So I bet if you foam rolled a couple of sets for like 30 seconds at a time and then tried to stretch, I think you'll be able to get it. He's still growing. Yeah, I mean, he's 13 years old, right? So he's in his prime like growing season for the next 5 years at least. So, you know, now we're kind of combating the two different injuries. You know, what I had to tell Michael early on was the faster your tempo and the quicker your pace of running, the more impact is on the joint and on your Achilles, and the more force output and the faster contraction the Achilles has to undergo. So it makes sense as to why that happened essentially right off the rip as soon as he started running again. And I told him, I'm like, we need to start with low-level jumping and plyometrics before you're just cleared to go off and run. You know, I think once I reiterated that to him again today, I think that he finally caught on. But you know, it's tough treating two different injuries, and you know, oftentimes you have to find a way to find exercises that address both. So it takes a lot of creativity. Right now, we just need time. If that pressure is too much or if you need a break, you just tell me, okay? So what I'm gonna say to you though is, if we're getting pain after doing some basic jumping, like what you did with Ryan on Monday, then your body's not gonna be ready to run or jog. If we think about running or if we think about jogging, it's just a consecutive series of single leg jumps. Over time, that accumulation is not gonna feel good. So I wanna encourage you to try to stay patient, keep your running in the pool until we clear you to do a little bit more, okay? Ideally, I want 2 or 3 sessions in here of like initiating jumping that doesn't produce any pain afterwards before we start running longer distances, okay? But it's good that Joyce cleared you to do that, but now we just have to make sure we don't do it too quickly. And that's where Ryan and I are gonna help, okay? How about your heels? How have your heels been feeling? Do you feel them at all anymore?
Yeah, the left one.
The left one still? So right now it's really right knee and left heel that we're working with. Okay, those are the knots that I was talking about. That's what we gotta try to work out. 2 more and I'm gonna give you a break, okay? I know this isn't comfortable. 1. Good job, bud. 2. All right, I'll give you a little bit of a break. I want to do 1 more series of that and then we'll do the cups, okay? Do you have any heel pain right now? No. No, okay. So like right now, as you move it around, do you feel it?
Mostly when I'm bending it down, like when I try to point it.
When you push it down?
That's the most I can point it.
Okay.
I don't really have much motion.
Scoot down for me. Yep, right there. I'm gonna take this off, is that okay? So point it as far as you can. And then if I push it a little bit more, does that increase the pain? Okay. And then how about coming back this way? No pain with that? And is it more on the bottom of your heel or is it more higher up? It's more on the Achilles. So when we're done with this, I want to do a little bit of treatment on that. His progress has definitely slowed down since having to address the severs, because ultimately, like when he runs or jumps, it's not his knee that's the limiting factor, it's his heel pain. So anytime that I go through a treatment session, I'm essentially breaking it into 2 specific pieces. Piece number 1 is symptom mitigation. If they're coming in with any pain or if they're coming in with any limitations, that gets addressed right on the table first thing. Once the symptoms are mitigated to the point where they're very little or pain-free, that is when we can move into our movements. And ultimately, the way I see it is that first phase of table work and symptom mitigation, that allows us for short-term success. And then what we do in the second half, when we actually are driving a stimulus, that is what's going to give us the long-term adaptation. So really, that's all it was today. We, addressed his symptoms as soon as he came in. He was having some knee pain with full flexion, so we were able to mitigate that. Was having some heel pain with just moving the ankle around, doing what he said, a car, which is just a controlled articulation. We tried to do a little bit of skipping just to see how he would tolerate it. It wasn't bad, it was at a 3 out of 10, so normally for me, that means we can continue to push. It doesn't make sense to rush him through this process. If it was just one thing, that might be a different story, but the fact that we're dealing with 2, I'd rather just be a little bit more conservative and make sure that he's tolerating the non-impact stuff well before we address impact. What I would like to do today, if we can tolerate it, we don't have to, but I would like to do some baseline testing on the force plates, just to kind of see where our asymmetry is at. We're gonna use that information before we clear you for football, because we want those numbers to be at a certain threshold before we let you go and do contact sports, right? But again, if it's not feeling good, then we don't have to do it today. We'll kind of just play it by ear and see how it feels as we warm up and get loose. All right, we're gonna let those sit for a little bit. So we were at 128 last time. Again, as soon as you start to feel it, you tell me, okay? Right there. Okay, that's 133. So we got 5 more degrees before it comes on. And then let's push through and let's see if it gets better or worse as we push through it, okay? That's pretty much as far as I can push. What do you think? It's just a stretch. Okay. All right. Once we push through that initial point, then the pain seemed to dissipate and it just feels like a big stretch. And is the stretch just through your quad here? Okay. All right, good. Let's flip you over and let's now just address that Achilles. Miguel, toss me that ultrasound gel. Thank you. And have you scoot down so that your foot is hanging off the edge of the table, okay? So now we're gonna put that on a little bit of a stretch and then work through. Does that feel okay? A little uncomfortable? Yeah. Last one, bud. Good. You're a trooper. All right, let's clean you off good so we can apply the tape. Okay. All right, why don't you pop up? Let's put your sock and shoe back on. Let's start with just walking around, a couple of paces up and down the turf. Good, okay. Any pain in your knee? Any pain in your heel? Okay. Let's start with our usual stretches, our reverse rockers and world's greatest stretch, and then we're gonna get right into it, okay? He's a 13 or 14-year-old athlete, so he's got his entire high school and college and potentially professional career ahead of him. There's no sense in pushing through something right now. And I know as much as he wants to, look forward to playing this upcoming fall for football, he's a baseball player. That's his primary sport. That's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to excel in. So that's why we had a lot of rotational movements in his second half piece today. And ultimately, I'm looking at him as a baseball player. And I'm looking at this as more of a long-term success story than let me just get you ready in 4 or 5 weeks, because I don't really think that's realistic at this point. The thing too about football is he's a wide receiver. So what does that entail? That entails a lot of running, a lot of hard cutting, a lot of change of direction and deceleration. He's not ready to just go for a light jog right now without feeling pain. It's gonna be totally unrealistic for me to say, yeah, you're gonna be good to play in 5 days, 100%. Do our heel floating split squat. Okay, so ball of your foot up on the plate, dumbbell in each hand. We come down, push through the forefoot, lift that heel up, nice tall posture, and we're gonna hold this position for 30 seconds, okay? I want you to start left foot forward first, okay? Good, chest up a little bit more, shoulders back. There you go, bud. Good, lift that heel, that's it. Constant pressure through the forefoot, halfway there. Do we feel any pain here in this position? No, okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time, good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time, good. Was that pain-free on the right, heel and knee? Okay. Take 30 seconds. We're gonna do that one more time each side, and then we'll move on, okay? All right, yep, left side first. 3, 2, 1, and go. Good, yep, chest up, shoulders back, perfect posture, constant pressure through that foot. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time, good. Ready, go. Halfway. 3, 2, 1, and time. Good, rack up those dumbbells for me. Ball's gonna go right on the outside of your hip. Arm is gonna go over top. You're going to lean into it and you're gonna stay on this outside leg, okay? So we're gonna dip, you're gonna push in, we're gonna hold for 3 seconds, and then you're just gonna extend the knee, come up onto the toe, maintain that pressure in, and then down. Okay, so here, 1, 2, 3, up, 1, 2, 3, down, 2, 3, up, 2, 3. Okay, 6 per side. Yeah, right outside the hip. Good, lean into it, bend that knee a little bit more, and then equal pressure from the heel to the forefoot, so you should feel quad and you should feel up in that hip, and then go slow to start, full extension, up, 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 yes, and then back down, good, yes, constant pressure, like you're making a hard cut on the field, good. If you feel confident and if you're ready to go fast, that's fine, doesn't have to be. Yes, very nice. Good, pain-free. Yes, okay. Good, so pause for 1 second, stay right there. Look, yeah, good fix. You already know what I was gonna say. Yep, good, push, 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 push. Good, get up high on those toes, high on those toes. That's it, stay up there, stay up there. Good, last one, high on those toes, lean into the ball, stay up there. Yes, good. Okay, good. Pain-free on the right side. Yeah, okay. So we're gonna come back to that in just a second, but come on down here. So now that you're used to pushing laterally and leaning into the ball, now we're gonna bring that into a light skip, okay? So a lateral skip. We've done these before. So it's here, and then we're just pushing off of the outside foot and just getting that little bound, okay? So facing the mirror the whole time, down and back just once. There you go. Yep, push off that left foot. Yes, yes, yes. Good, nice. That feel okay? A little on the knee, okay. 0 to 10, what would you say it was?
Like 3.
And was it just coming back this way? So when you had to push off that right side, and then a 3 coming back. Okay, let's go back on the ball. One more set on the ball, one more set on the skips. I just wanna see how it feels second time around, and then we'll move on. Good, do the best you can. Up on those toes, lean into the ball. Get on the ball of your big toe. Yep, ball of your big toe on the push off. Better, yep, much better. Ball of the big toe. Yep, good. Good. Any change? A little better. I want to test him just to determine a baseline and a return to play protocol. So what oftentimes we see for a totally different injury, so for example, an ACL injury, we'll take some testing data once they're cleared to start running and jumping, just to see like what their baseline is now. And then we show them that data and we say, hey, once that asymmetry is less than 10%, and once your force output reaches a certain threshold, that's when we're gonna clear you to play. And these are gonna be our tiers to get you there. You know, what we've done in the past was if your asymmetry becomes less than 20%, we'll clear you for non-contact practice. So you can go play with your club, play with your high school team. You can do passing drills, you can do shooting drills, but nothing that is contact. And then we'll slowly start to, you know, take away the limitations and restrictions as they show improvement with their data-driven results. So force output, RSI, asymmetry, those are really the 3 things that we're looking for. Based off of this, I don't want to do any testing today. I want to try to eliminate our impact as much as possible, okay? So let's start over here. So we're just gonna work through that motion of triple extension. So like when we jump or when we run, coming from here to here, all right? So you're gonna set your feet hip width apart. We're gonna squat down until your hands can reach the handles. Back nice and flat. We're starting with the plates on the ground. We're just gonna drive through our legs, come up on your toes, and then back down. Okay, so here, back down. Okay? Starting from that dead stop every time, we're gonna do 6. Yep. There you go, that's it. Good, one more. Nice, good. Okay. Any pain with that? No, okay. Felt good on the knee, felt good on the heel. Okay, perfect. Let's come over here. We're gonna start right foot forward, left foot back. You're gonna be here, and then I'm gonna stay to your right, and you're just going to throw the ball over that hip, okay? Good. And then the other way. It's all right, hold your balance, hold your balance. Good. Good. Take a minute, grab a drink if you need to. Did you bring water?
Yeah.
Okay. Grab a drink and then we're gonna go back over there, okay? Dead stop, just push through the feet. Yes, good. Nice. Good. One more. Good. All right, one more of each and then one more thing to finish, okay? Nice, Mike. Nice job. Boom, good. Okay, last thing, come on over here. We're gonna grab the handle, both hands, interlock your fingers, pull the cable away so the weight's unstack. We're gonna stagger our stance. Arms are gonna stay nice and straight, and then we're just gonna rotate full 180 degrees. Okay, 10 per side, 2 sets, and then you're done. Arms nice and straight. There you go. Yep, nice. Good, that's it. Stay forward on that right leg. Rotate through the shoulders, rotate through the trunk. Good. This weekend until we see you again next week, no running on firm ground. We're just gonna do the running here that's in your pool workout, okay? So we have the high knee skipping, we have the high knees, we have some squat jumps, and then we have some running in place. I don't know how long is the pool, do you know? Twice this. Can you stand in it from end to end? So if you want to do running from one side of the pool to the other instead of running in place, that's fine. But it should be like 30-second efforts.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to try like moving instead of running in place, that's fine. But let's keep everything underwater for now until we can get our jumping and our landing to be pain-free. Okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, man. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the time off. All right, boom. Good.